Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport on YouTube, and we're in a different room here for our F1 section. There's no pole position podcast this week, but with the big news, we had to stop our holidays. I was in Miami enjoying the Miami Grand Prix negotiations, while Jack here, what were you doing?
I was in Monaco getting tax-free.
That was it, yeah. And I told him to stay there because he had to pay tax just to get here, so I don't know what happened there. But in F1 though, what has happened? Daniel Ricciardo has left Red Bull. Okay, that was half of expected, but he's left Red Bull for Renault. What?
Yeah.
What? Why?
I'm not sure what's gone on there.
I mean, I talk about shooting yourself in the foot. I think he shot himself in both feet.
I think he went, I'm leaving Red Bull, and then he went, what? I'm joining Renault. Is that it?
It's like when you finish work somewhere and you say you're going to another job, and they'll be like, oh, right, okay, yeah, we thought you were going to leave. I'm going to Renault. What?
Yeah. It is a bit of a surprise, though, isn't it? You know, we could see him leaving, and I think it's probably, he said it's his right time, and you can understand why it is. You know, you look at it, and Mercedes, Hamilton is number one there, Vettel's number one at Ferrari, and Verstappen, as much as Red Bull wouldn't admit it, Verstappen's probably number one at Red Bull.
Yeah.
So it probably is the right time.
I think it's definitely the signs that he's number one.
Yeah, I think he is definitely number one there. So Ricciardo felt like he needed a change, and has he made the right one? It'll be interesting to understand. He's going to be number one at Renault. We know that. As much as Nico Hülkenberg is a good driver, Ricciardo's going to go in there, and he's obviously
earning more money than Nico.
He's going to be number one driver. But it's interesting considering how many issues Red Bull have had this year, and Red Bull have blamed it on Renault to then go and join the Renault works team. Maybe Ricciardo knows something that we don't. Maybe it's not all Renault's fault at Red Bull.
You see, I straight away look at it like the Hamilton-Mercedes deal. No one expected him to leave McLaren for Mercedes. We all thought it was a Ferrari link. And then when that announcement came, Eddie Jordan predicted it as well. None of us believed him. And every time he's ever predicted any transfers, he's been spot on. But it was the fact that he went to Mercedes, who were not a proven team, who had not won a world championship. They won one race in 2012 when Hamilton had joined. But it's kind of like that, isn't it, with Ricciardo? He is a capable world championship winner, but he's going to a team that hasn't proven themselves at all yet. They're fourth in the constructors, and they will probably get fourth spot. Now they won't get top three, that's for sure. But yeah, I look at it like that, thinking there's, as you just said, as Ricciardo knows something that we don't.
Yeah, it's a big move. It's a big move if you're Daniel Ricciardo, and he felt like he needed a change, and you can see that. But it looks like a step down at this moment in time. But like you said, Hamilton's decision to go to Mercedes looked like a step down, and when you look at that now, look where McLaren have gone compared to where Mercedes have gone. So
could have been a really different career for Hamilton.
It would have, yeah. The amount of championships he's won at Mercedes compared to what McLaren have done. They haven't won a race since 2012 or 20. I think it's 2012, not 2013.
2012,
the Brazilian race for Jenson Button. But yeah, that just shows what it can make and the decisions that it can make. But not only has this affected Daniel Ricciardo, it's affected almost all the other drivers below, because Carlos Sainz has been kicked out of Renault, and to be fair, he scored 8 points 8 times in 12 races so far.
Yes,
so he hasn't done a bad job. So he's left. So does that mean he's going to McLaren, or does he go back to Red Bull? And then you look at Red Bull, Pierre Gasly might go up from Toro Rosso. Sainz might go to McLaren.
If you were Horner and Helmut Marko, though, who'd you go for? I personally would go with Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, I'd go for Pierre Gasly as well, I think. The reason why I would go for Gasly is the fact that one, he's used to the Honda engine that they're going to have next season.
That's true.
And he's worked with the Honda technicians at Toro Rosso this year. And the fact that he hasn't had a relationship with Verstappen yet. Sainz has, and they had issues at Toro Rosso. I remember that a few years ago.
Yes.
They had a bit of arguments, shall we say. That's probably the lighter word to use.
And I think the problem is, if Sainz goes to Red Bull, he won't want to be a number 2 driver.
No.
Because he's had enough years.
He's older now, isn't he? Yeah.
He's been there the same time as Verstappen, so he'd think, well, why can't I?
Yeah. So whereas Pierre Gasly's younger, and he probably will learn, as much as Verstappen is young, he'll learn from Verstappen.
Pierre Gasly's just like Charles Leclerc, very exciting to watch.
Yeah, he has been a spark this year. But then Sainz, does he go to McLaren? Van Dorn hasn't exactly excelled himself in the last 2 years. He's been outscored in qualifying and outperformed by Alonso.
There's rumours Van Dorn could go to Sauber.
Yeah, well,
but that
again, is Marcus Ericsson good enough?
Oh, there's so much going on.
Is Marcus Ericsson good enough to be in Formula 1?
Literally, the moment I realised Ricciardo had left, I thought, hang on a minute, There's still 8 teams that haven't decided their fate yet. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I thought we'd had all this sorted.
Esteban Ocon is another one. You know, is he going to be leaving Force India?
Would he?
There's talk of him leaving because he was going to go to Renault.
Well, Lance Stroll might be.
Yeah,
Ocon was supposed to go to Renault. Oh my God!
Which means that Ocon is probably going to stay.
Well, Perez is staying in F1 full stop because it's Sergio Perez.
Yeah, so they think Ocon's now going to stay, and that means Lance Stroll, even if his dad does buy a share in Force India, he will probably stay at Williams because there's no way he's going to go to Force India at this moment in time.
No.
You know, Sainz will go to McLaren.
But
Van Dorn, Sauber, maybe.
But surely it's a situation for Force India who have got no money. Well, we've been told they've got no money.
Yeah.
Surely they would have to take Lance Stroll in if his dad puts money or even buys the team, because it's just like, as much as we love you, Esteban, you're a great driver, but we need the money. And Sergio Perez is friends with one of the richest men in the world, so
you're losing a quality driver for an average one just for the money.
But I'm thinking about the future of the team, though. If the team doesn't have any money, there's no future. So I have a feeling that Perez might be with Lance Stroll next year.
Well, that's not good, is it? That's not good.
Absolute shit.
That's not good. That's not good at all. But and then again, we talk about Pierre Gasly. If he goes, Sainz won't go back to Toro Rosso. Who's going to take their place? Is Brendan Hartley announced? They have 2 seats open. Oh, it's crazy. Daniel Ricciardo, you've opened.
He's actually made the season very exciting all of a sudden. The thing is, I always find like the Red Bull races now are going to be a bit awkward. They'll be telling Ricciardo, okay, if you can, what does it matter? You're leaving us anyway. Just go now. Just go now.
But it's certainly going to be interesting. That's for sure now.
So overall, surprised, but you're happy for Ricciardo because the video he did on Twitter, his announcement from himself. He looked upbeat, but again, that's Daniel Ricciardo. He's always happy.
He's always smiling, isn't he? But I think he's made the right decision for himself because I think another year at Red Bull, if they'd had issues, with joining Honda and again teammating Max Verstappen, they don't have issues. But if he knows he's number one in that team, then a bit like Mark Webber, he doesn't want to be there anymore. So they've made the change. He's made the change. He probably will be happier in himself.
Red Bull don't like Australians.
No, they don't.
No.
He'll hopefully be happier at Renault in himself. And again, he's got a good teammate in Nico Hülkenberg. We've said that he's underrated. Is the German driver at Renault. So, let's hope for them that'll be good because we'd like to see Hülkenberg and Ricciardo fighting at the top.
Well, I need to sit down because of all these driver transfer possibilities. I mean, the mark there on my face was clearly me fainting from the news announcement when I banged my head on the floor. So, Daniel Ricciardo, please let me sit down before you announce this in the future because I was not prepared. But what do you think anyway at home? Is this the right move by Daniel Ricciardo? Is this a championship winning move? Renault could be a good team in 2 or 3 years' time. They've progressed in the last couple of seasons, so let's find out. Comment your thoughts below. Remember to subscribe to Let's Talk Sport for more of our F1 stuff, including our pole position podcast throughout the F1 season. Let's not forget the Belgian Grand Prix is coming up. And Charles Leclerc to Ferrari, it needs to happen. All these other drivers, I need to sit down. I am sitting down, but I need a lower chair. I need a sofa right now. But anyway, thank you for watching.